Unfortunately, in the western United States, fire bans have become more and more common than ever before. Wildfires rage across the mountainsides year over year, but oftentimes the exception to the fire ban is a fire that can be turned off. So let's check out a product that'll do just that. I'd seen some of Ignik's stuff a couple years ago because they make electric blankets and electric sleeping pads, or I guess that's more accurate of what they make. And they also make one other type of burner that you can actually cook on top of. Their company basically makes things that will keep you warm. They reached out to me recently and asked me if I wanted to try the fire can that they make. Now, I've seen propane fire cans before, and I've never really considered them that much. They're always a pretty big, from what I've seen, a pretty big contraption, and I don't have room for something like that. The benefit of this is a very small, it's the size of a, what is it, a 40 millimeter ammo can, I think is what size this is. Anyway, this is it's a 5.56 ammo can, and it's pretty cool looking if you ask me. The feet on it fold up real easy, and the cool thing about the feet folding up is that it has rubber feet on the bottom. That helps stop it from wiggling around or sliding around when you have it strapped down or otherwise. And so those fold out to give it some clearance from the ground. And that's that. And then you're ready to go. Obviously this runs off of propane. There's no wood involved. You completely remove the lid on it. It's got side handles on it that help you move it around if you do need to move it while it's hot, which is pretty cool. And then on the side here, it's got a metal laser etched instruction manual basically. Right here on the side is where you stick like a long lighter into to light it up. And it's a pretty simple little contraption. The main downside I see with this, and it's a small one, is that it is a basically like a propane grill that you're lighting up. They sell a rock, like a lava rock, because lava rock specifically will not explode. They sell it, but it's an extra cost. And so basically what you get as the base unit is just a fire pit, and it's all it is metal with flames coming out of it. So it doesn't have the same ambiance as a regular campfire, but I did order some lava rock to put into this. Their website's out of stock right now, but I did order some. So it's a simple little box. You just pull the lid completely off. It comes with your control valve. This will hook up to a standard propane tank, and then it has some instructions on the inside. And this is what the inside looks like. Pretty simple. So whenever you put rocks in there, they come up to like here, and then because propane does not ignite until the surface where it can get to oxygen, if you fill this up with rock, they sell it in 5-pound increments. If you fill it up with rock, then the little, basically the cracks in the rocks will be where the flame is, and it'll just have more of a campfire feel to it. Obviously you're adding a lot of weight to it, because if you put 5 pounds of rocks in this, I would say this probably weighs about 10 pounds as it is, maybe a little bit more than that. So obviously you're adding weight if that matters to you. This is gonna work. It's gonna be the same amount of heat output, but for me, I personally want to put the rocks in there because I think it'll have a nice feel to it because of that. In a situation like I'm in right now, where me and Blue have come down to Utah, it's 7 o'clock at night. So it's almost 8 o'clock at night, and it's probably already 50, 55 degrees. So I think we're in for another cold night. I can have a fire real quick. When I'm ready to go up in the tent, I can just turn it off, leave it out, it'll cool down overnight, and I don't really have to be concerned about it. I don't have to be concerned about putting water on it. And the other thing is, because I can control the flame on this, I don't have to worry about using it underneath the awning. I would never build a campfire underneath the awning, because if one log too many or one super dry log too many were to be thrown on top of that fire, it could easily put a hole in the awning. You'd have to have a very small fire, as something like this is very controllable. It's not a huge flame. It's just enough for a couple people to sit around and get some heat off of it. And I feel confident because you can feel where the heat is. It's not going to increase or decrease because it's controlled. And that way I can use it sitting right here, which I'm getting ready to do. In recent years, the more and more we have wildfires in Colorado, and there are fire bans everywhere, it does kind of suck sometimes you can't have a fire. You just want to sit out on an evening like this and have a little bit of a fire, and you can't do it. This, in most of those situations, will correct that. Just like your camp stove, usually with most fire bans, I forget what fire ban it stops where you can't use these at all. But with most fire bans, you can use like a camp stove or a propane fire pit, as long as it has a shutoff valve And the big thing with fires, the big thing with wildfires is they spread because there's, you know, you have sparks and stuff flying off those logs, popping, and it'll land in a tree or in the grass or something. This won't produce that because it's just propane. So this will be nice to have, because I do have friends coming out this summer that are always shocked when they get here and there is a fire ban, because they're from a humid state. They're not used to that being a thing. So we'll be able to use this whenever we want, unless you're going for weight savings. Add the rocks to it. I do think it'll be greatly improved with the $20 rocks. I think this thing's around 200 bucks, 220 bucks, somewhere in that range. If you're watching this, pay attention to the date that it got published, because prices will increase over time. I don't know how long this will last off of a gallon of propane, but I would like to try it. I'm gonna get an adapter, and I might have one around anyway, but I'm gonna use an adapter for the little tiny camp bottles and bring one of those. And next time I'm out, and I will try to see how long this thing will burn off of just a little bottle like that, because I am curious how much propane this will go through. I'm gonna light this up. Me and Blue will sit by the fire, and this is a good time to be trying this because it's colder than I expected it to be here. And so we'll have a little bit of heat. I can judge how much heat is coming off of this thing. Ignik is not gonna recommend you have this hose that close, but I don't wanna take my propane bottle down because it's really not that easy to get down, and yeah, so I'm not going to. But this is, being able to have these handles moving around, it's pretty nice. Get my mat out of the way here, but it does put off a fair amount of heat. I mean, even on low like that, crank that thing up, it's full blast right there. What do you think, dog? You can feel it, can't you? Obviously on full, that will burn through some propane pretty quick. I'll tell you what, right now it's pretty nice to have a fire. Even without the rocks, it's pretty nice to have it. If there's a big group of people, I understand having a big campfire, but when it's just me out here, I don't usually want to build one because I'm only going to sit in it for like an hour. So just being able to turn this off and put it aside, let it cool down overnight, which I'm sure it only takes 10 minutes to cool down anyway. And they also sell these the gas growlers that you can get, and it'll go perfect with the thing, because this hose does connect to a standard size propane bottle, not the little ones. So you could use it with the little one, but you would have to use an adapter. And actually, I was talking about a longer hose. That's probably what I'm gonna do. I'll probably just bring a little bottle, maybe, and just use that. I don't know what I'm gonna do. This is gonna be really cool with the rocks. I've seen fires like this with the rocks, and it'll kind of come up and light the whole surface on fire. This thing's pretty cool. Thanks, Ignik, for sending me this to try out. This fire pit is exceptionally cool because of how small it is. It's just big enough. I don't want one of the ones that's just some giant round. If I want a big giant campfire, I'll build a giant campfire. A little fire pit like this is perfect for what I need right now. It's me and the dog. Even if Natalia was here, the three of us could gather around this, and this is putting off a ton of heat. I mean, this is legitimately warming me up. This is a handy little thing to have around. I will put links below if you guys are interested in checking one of these things out. Thank you guys so much for watching, and until next time. The lava rocks were on the porch when I got home from camping, so here's some footage of what that looks like.